Hey, what's up YouTube? Today I want to talk about the Leatt 5.5 helmet and maybe introduce my cat and gato.
They broke off the brake. Yeah, I've had that same issue with two helmets from them. I don't think you're gonna have to. You got any duct tape?
This helmet right here was a helmet I was very interested in for a couple reasons. One, I think it's the only helmet in its MSRP 400 price point that has a built-in inline hydration. So you can actually put your hose through the helmet without drilling or anything like that. It fits comfortably in this little slot, if you will, and you can access it pretty easily, and it just hooks up to your backpack. This helmet in particular weighs about 1,200 grams or 2.6 pounds, making it honestly, I think the lightest helmet in its class. In fact, I can't find $600 helmets that weigh that little. It also has some of the best ventilation I've experienced from a helmet. These vents totally access completely through the inside. You can feel the airflow when you're riding, including this back port, and you can see it goes all the way through. Same thing for these top air vents as well. And on the front and sides, it just has a ton of airflow. Gato, you're such a good cat. And then this is my typical filming helmet that you guys see me film all my videos on, and this is my custom GoPro mount, and that's how I get the viewpoint that I do. So you may be asking yourself, why do I have duct tape on this helmet? And the reason is because within my first, I'd say 5 rides or so of having this helmet, I took it out of my gear bag and I found out very quickly that one of the quick release screws were broken. And I thought to myself, that sucks, but it's no problem. I have extra ones. It actually comes with extra ones. So I went to go ahead and replace it, and it was in the top one right here. And I found out very quickly it was not just a broken screw. It was actually the female insert that was broken itself, and it was rattling in the helmet. And I'm pretty meticulous about my gear. It doesn't go in the back of my truck. It actually just sits on a seat where it can't move because, you know, gear's expensive, and when you're buying $400 helmets and $600 boots, you really don't want things to get broken. So I was kind of dismayed, and I thought to myself, well, you know, things happen. And, you know, I'm going to have to send it back to Leatt because they're going to have to fix that part, or, you know, something's going to have to happen, and I'll get it taken care of. So I had to ship this helmet to them, and they were glad to do so. They were quick and responsive with it. In the meantime, I wanted to ride, and I was still impressed with the helmet, so I went out and I bought this helmet, which was the newer version. And I think I picked this up for about $230 or something like that. It was almost half off, and I was kind of stoked to get it in my size, okay? Well, I heard back from Leatt, and they said they were unable to fix this. And to unfortunately make matters worse, my visor arrived to them broken, and it's broken right here. I have it taped, but you can't see, but it is broken right here. And I was kind of disheartened about that because I actually shipped it in the same packaging I got the helmet in, and I felt like I packaged it very well, but you know, things do happen. So I asked them, and they said they were unable to fix this, and I could buy a new visor if I wanted to replace this, but it didn't matter because I'd never be able to put a screw in there. But they were willing to give me half off towards a new helmet. I won't lie, I was a little upset because at the time this helmet was brand new. I think I had 5 rides on it. I'd never crashed it. It didn't hit a tree. It was literally brand new. And I felt like I just got taken for some money on a defect. In my opinion, that was very much a defect. I ended up just telling them to send me the helmet back because I didn't need half off on a new helmet, because while I was waiting for it, I had bought this helmet. So I felt a little bamboozled, but it was my decision to buy this helmet. And I did receive this helmet back, and just as they said, this was absolutely broken when I received it. It was almost insult to injury, but I wanted to still use the helmet because what's a visor, right? I don't care if it pops or breaks off or anything like that. I ended up super gluing the little female inlet in there so it stopped rattling when I wore the helmet, and I used duct tape. And actually, honestly, duct tape has worked extremely well. It's not, you know, the coolest looking thing, but it worked very well for me. My new helmet, I found out something pretty disheartening as well as far as quality control. The padding in the helmets in this particular helmet, I've swapped them. I've swapped the padding. This padding in here was actually in here originally. And the reason I swapped it is because it was bent from the factory. So when I received the helmet, these turns were permanently stuck towards that way. And it doesn't seem like a big issue until you go to put the helmet on, and it's scraping against your head will pull these and tuck them in a very uncomfortable position. And the helmet's a tight-fitting helmet, so you actually have to squeeze your fingers in between the helmet and your skull and pull these down. I felt like that was a quality control issue on a $400 helmet that just probably shouldn't have happened. I also had some of the stitching from the liners become unstitched, and I've had to hand sew it. In comparison, I do have another $400 helmet. This is the Fly Carbon MIPS 2 helmet, and this was the very first helmet I ever bought to dirt bike. And this helmet was beaten. I have crashed so many times in this helmet. I've hit so many logs in this helmet. I high-sided at 35 miles an hour in this helmet, and aside from thinking I broke my shoulder at the time and crushed some ribs, it broke my visor clean off, and I thought for sure it tore out the quick releases. Nope. The quick releases were fine. I just needed new screws for them, and I was able to buy a new visor, and they screwed in, and the helmet worked perfectly fine. And the padding, I have 100 hours in this helmet, and the padding in this helmet is like new, easily washable. It's stitched very nicely. I don't have to worry about it coming apart. And this is in the same price point as the Leatt helmets. And you can see the size difference right there between the two different companies. So the question is, at the bottom of this year, will I be buying another Leatt helmet? Truthfully, I don't think I will, and that's unfortunate. I did take a look at their 6.5 version of these helmets, which is the step up. It brings you from $400 to approximately $600, and the quick release fastens look exactly the same as this helmet. The padding on the inside looks exactly the same. I think it is the same in padding. I think the only thing difference is what the shell is made out of, and it saves a few ounces. It's not worth the extra $200, and definitely not another $600 investment to Leatt in regards of their helmets. I will be buying other products from them. I don't think they're a bad company. I think their customer service is good. I did not have a good experience with them, unfortunately. Right now, there's a bunch of contenders in the market, including the new Fly high-ends, which are in the $600 range. They look really nice. Maybe I'll be stepping up to one of those helmets. But in the meantime, if you're deciding on a helmet which one you can get, if you can pick up a Leatt helmet and you're aware of some of the issues that all my friends have had with some, like I've had friends that have issues with the padding, I've had friends with issues with the breakaway. If you're willing to accept that stuff, I think these are a great helmet in the like $200, $250 price range. It's probably the best helmet, in my opinion, that you can buy in that price range, but I absolutely don't think they're worth the $350 to $400 you typically see them at. Let me know in the comments what your favorite helmet is. I'm kind of interested. I'm willing to go up different price points on it. I don't think I'll go lower in the price point just because of some safety concerns. You know, after all, it's the only head I have, and it's not that great to begin with, so I want to protect it. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I hope it shines some light if any of you were curious on the Leatt helmet. And honestly, I'm willing to try them again. If at a later date I feel like they have different fasteners and maybe some different lining, I'm totally down to check it out. I do think it was an excellent helmet for the lower price point that I mentioned. Other than that, guys, happy riding. Be safe.